Plastic on the beat.
The Babbling Heads podcast.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Babbling Heads podcast. This is the Base 187.
I'm Dj Fingaz.
JoeZone.
Charlie X2C.
And this week we are featuring Cape Town, one of my favorite go-to people on Facebook if I want to have a good laugh.
For Skandaal.
Something like that, once I would say. But yeah, Daily Wax journalist. I'd like to welcome Ling Shepherd.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. Thank you. I'm here on a Saturday. Thank you.
Aren't you giving a real name or you gonna stink with Ling Shepherd?
Leave my real name.
Okay.
What is
Just checking.
Mariki.
Just checking. Ling Shepherd is a cool name, by the way.
No, it's a pen name. Okay, look.
Een
I'm not
nom
gonna
de
give this-
pleur.
There we go. I'm not going to give the surname, but my given name is Lynn.
Lynn is a nice name.
It's a nice name. There's nothing wrong
Childhood
with it.
friend. Name is
It's
Lynn.
a very nice name, but we can keep it low-key. No one's going to trace me. People
Okay,
find you
Are we?
online.
Okay, Lynn, let's start the interview with
Yo. Okay, Lynn.
your
Ling.
Go, Ling.
Okay, Ling.
There we go.
Okay, Ling. Let's start off with just explaining your childhood and how. Not the first name, your childhood and,
From the womb.
your childhood and how and when you discovered that you want to become a journalist and how it came about and whatever.
Yeah, okay. I didn't actually know I wanted to be a journalist up until last year when I got headhunted. I've always been writing, but like you don't actually like have it in your head that there's many different mediums of writing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the writing regardless of what it is. It's these categories, but I mean, it was very, very random, but I've always been writing. So last year, I was bored and I couldn't sleep. I think everybody had, we were all team 5 a.m. last year with the lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have a proper sleep pattern or anything like
Yeah,
that.
still,
And then-
some of us are still suffering from that.
I'm down to 1 o'clock in the morning now, not 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And then, I was just bored. I finished my Netflix lineup.
Yeah.
And then I was just doing these memes and stuff on Twitter. And then it went viral. But I'm like, whatever, man. People were making jokes and going on, whatever. But then the editor of the Vox, she messaged me and she said, we need to talk. And then she brought me on as an intern. And now I'm a full-time writer for them. Oh.
All right. So going back to the memes, what inspired them? Because they were quite, like in terms of memes, a lot of people rehash or copy and paste stuff that's already on the net.
Stop stealing.
But
Why
yours-
did they cut
yours-
my name out, man?
But it
Yours
was a
was
specific meme that it was, eh?
a specific series of memes.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
basically dealt with the fact that using Cape Town monuments, but liking it to international destinations.
Yeah.
But I think also based on the fact that we were in lockdown, we couldn't travel. So she had a picture of the Good Hope Centre and she said, I miss my days back in Sydney. Because you're thinking, Sydney Opera House. And yes, Good Hope Centre. I was like, yo, bruh. No, I was passing. But like she said, people started jacking the stuff. But where did the inspiration come from? How did that click?
I've never been out of the country yet. So go on.
Yet.
We know this is true for like a lot of our people. I mean, the furthest I've been to was like what? What's further, Joburg or Durban? Not sure.
Joburg, I think.
No,
yeah.
Joburg, yeah.
Sure, you haven't been.
No, and I mean, like, look, it's like that for a lot of people. Like,
but
sometimes I'm so shocked, like, when I hear of like Cape Townians who say, "No, we've never been to the beach yet."
No.
It's shocking, but it has happened because I spoke to this guy Shamir, and he does like this beach cleanups, and you know how far the beach is from Hanover Park. It's actually not that far for us now, but like he says, he's taking like 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds and teenagers up until 18 who've never been to the beach. They live in Cape Town,
I was in my 30s before I went up Table Mountain.
right?
Exactly.
So I mean, I was like in my 20s or so, like 22 or something before I went up the mountain or whatever. And I mean, if it wasn't for my school, I wouldn't have gone to Kirstenbosch, I wouldn't have gone to Robben Island and things like that. Those are just realities. And then I was like, okay, where would I want to go? I'm like, I want to go to Australia. For some reason, I want to go to Australia. And then I'm like, wait, what? Looks like Australia in Cape Town. Besides the white people that are racist. So,
What demon?
This man is not happy. if somebody says anything about white people, he's two of them.
Thank you very much.
Say that is the math.
no, but I mean, come on, Australia and New Zealand, they are like our unofficial 10th and 11th provinces.
Yeah.
I still want to go there though. I still want to see a lot of things there. Then I'm like, oh, wait, the Sydney Opera House nogal looks like the Good Hope Centre. I mean, that's an ugly building, but you know, and that's what kicked the meme off, man. And I'm like, I want to go to New York and I want to go to all these different places. And then I'm like, let me think of places that I only frequent. And if you know what, and Google is so messy, but at the same time so informative. Like every month I get like a Google map of everywhere that I've been, then it triangulates where you've been. And then I'm like, I only
Big Brother's watching you.
Right? I only roll in the circular fashion of like 7 to 8 kilometers. It's the mall, it's here, it's there. And then I'm like, so what do I see? What can I liken to these monuments, man? So, and then it just popped off. And like I said, I was really, really bored. There was nothing to do. It was a hard lockdown. And then this editor, she was just like, I like this is clever. And actually at the end of the thread, I actually put there, I want to work as a writer full time. Then she said she saw that tweet at the end of the thread. And then she just messaged me and then we went from there. And I'm a journalist.
What is the Vox? What is it? Is the online?
They are the youngest South African online news website. They actually got like the fame with Fees Must Fall in 2015.
Okay.
Because they were like the only news agency that had students at all the universities.
So they woke.
Very woke.
So that's where you fit into the to the.
Can you picture me working for IOL? They're not gonna like that. They're not gonna like the wokeness coming out there.
So what is your job actually like? What does it entail at the Vox?
We get, I think, let me just describe like the day to day. So like if we like have a meeting like on a Monday, then we pitch ideas. Editor will give you an assignment, like but it's very free thinking. Like I can like pitch on Monday that listen, I want to do something on podcasts. Just like, yeah, okay, so what's your angle? And then 99% of the time it will get approved. You actually get a lot of free reign to write about what interests you.
Nice.
And I mean, this past week I went to a film festival. I did a review on an online museum. I spoke
That
to
the Camisa?
yeah, Camisa one. And that, I mean, I think that's gonna come out next week.
So it's all Cape Town based
Because
events
because the
things.
editor and one of the other writers are based in Joburg, and myself and another person we're based here in Cape Town. So, and the thing what Vox likes to do is they like to include the other provinces, because I think most times news just focuses on Gauteng and the Western Cape.
Okay.
Sometimes KZN. If you just look at what's like a hot story, it will always be Cape Town, it will always be Joburg. And she really gives you free reign to pull in news from like other stories or just interesting things. Like an artist in the Northern Cape, somebody out in the Eastern Cape, like a rural doctor, like, you can, and we profile a lot of people. And this week we profiled Inva Samuel that did the documentary on Dalsy September.
Okay, cool.
I didn't even know who she was.
Who's Dalsy September?
Exactly. She was an anti-apartheid activist that got killed in Paris in 1988.
Assassinated.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So it's what interests you. And I mean, I have a colleague that loves K-pop. And she can pitch a K-pop story every week and she can write about it. It's whatever's like just interesting you. Obviously, look, they are hot stories. Like we had to cover the fire, we had to cover the student protests and stuff like that. Yeah. But if you watch something over the weekend and it's spoke to you and you feel like you can write about it, she gives you the go ahead. And that's a liquor space for me to be in.
But Cheke, you mentioned now just having exhausted your Netflix catalog. Have you ever thought about installing a VPN so that you can watch your Korean K-pop series?
No, I will just illegally download. Can I say that?
we stream.
Charlie's against illegal downloads.
I'm sorry. No, I'm going to illegally download from white creatives. If I want to watch something, I do it. No, I will actually pay when it comes to people of color. I will always. It's just a rule I have.
There's comedic stuff on the color
On where?
on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's
There's a bit of everything
Yeah,
on.
but I have a legit Netflix account. Go on. Legit.
It's not that.
No, it's legit. We pay for it every month.
Brasa. That is
No, I only have a Showmax login from someone.
Someone else.
And GSTV.
I watch Showmax this week. I watched Schema Dance this week. It's nog een lekker?
It's really,
Yeah.
really good.
Oh, you also watched it?
Yeah, I reviewed the first episode for them.
Oh, for. And did you hear what happened to Carl Weber? Hectic. Like this
What
one.
happened?
This one lady.
in there or
Nah. There's one lady like inboxed his wife and like said like she's like upset with his behavior and the way he speaks and how can he speak like that on TV?
But don't you love that?
So
I
she
think South
thinks he's a real
African
character.
audiences are crazy. I remember when they smacked
Leanne van Roy.
and not just Leanne van Roy. Can you remember back in the day when the Isidingo actors were being accosted in the shops?
Was it Kim, eh?
It was actually all of them.
This was Sunday.
All of them. Sherelle de Villiers'
But Carl
character.
is,
Yeah.
that's how good
Barker,
an actor
good
you
enough.
are. You know what I mean? If you're that good in it,
Yeah,
you
but our
can-
audiences need to separate fact from
From
fiction
reality.
and, it's just intense.
Check here, I want to pick your brain, right? So journalism is like the pillar, one of the pillars of democracy, right?
Should be.
Should be, yeah. So do you think now that the media in general is doing South Africa justice when it comes to reporting what's needed to be reported, man? Or do we sweep stuff under the table or under the whatever?
Proverbial carpet.
No, we do. We have an Afghan carpet that we sweep things under, and it's wall to wall.
No?
I don't think journalists are doing enough as they should, and the ones that are getting you get blacklisted. You can see I don't know, can you guys remember when the Tumamina WhatsApp group dropped? Then you could actually see the way that they interact. Some of the journalists would be in the back pocket of many politicians. Like you can read on the articles. You can hear when somebody is just in favor of a certain politician or a certain political party.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of perks. I'm sure. I don't know what people are getting. You know what? Smokle or be smoked. I'm not above being bribed, but I just I don't want to know. Man.
Don't put it out there.
I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't, but I would listen to somebody if they are like, this. Just write a nice piece of me on.
Is it chocolate chip?
No,
What's that chocolate?
He's a whole I'm like, because some people are saying the farm murders and the killings on the Cape Flats, different races, but then I'm say why aren't you reporting? Why aren't the media in general reporting? Do you think it's a valid argument?
No, it is a valid argument. I don't think it's politically motivated, though. I think if you look, then again, I can't also say that because everything about us is political. But I think people like to report on black and colored communities to feed trauma porn.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
Yes.
You mean you don't want to see
Did I not
anything?
tell you that just now?
You don't want to see anything else.
Relax.
You don't want to see anything else from black and colored people unless the mother is crying. You know, oh my son and this and that. But you never see a camera shoved in a white mother's face like that. They will not turn up at that funeral.
They would have respect.
They will not do that. But they always do this. They will always show the mother in Elsie's with the dookie tied to the back and a couple of the children sitting next to her that's barefoot. Not that that's an issue. We walk barefoot at home all the time. Why not? But there's a certain narrative that always gets framed around black and colored people, and you must show the broken down walls in the house.
Yeah.
You need to show the
broken windows.
Yes, the unkempt lounge suite. There's a narrative that needs to be framed about black and colored people, and that serves the machine. You feeding it. White people, they always get the salacious kind of stories. Like, that teacher at Bishop's. She got it very
easy.
She's but she's sexy and she's pretty.
No, but she's pretty.
She committed crimes.
So
she is an attractive. She's an attractive woman, but she's a predator.
She made a mistake.
But she's
Quite a few
framed-
times.
But
she kept falling
helped
on
the
those
guys out.
penises.
She helped the guys out. Come on.
Yeah, but she's framed as a Vogue model. Show me a black and a colored teacher who maybe did that to a school child. Not maybe, there are teachers who do those things on the Cape Flats, and you will have Predator. They will have pictures of Norman, the station strangler. They would somehow bring
Demonize.
that up. It's a narrative.
I think when you,
that
I know
needs
you
to
calling
get boxed
that.
in there.
I know you're calling that woman a predator, eh?
Yeah.
But she was doing that to 18-year-old boys.
Who said they were all 18 at the time?
They're 16.
She groomed them for a specific period of time.
Were they 16? What age were they?
I think even
What
with
was
her,
the youngest-
with
what
them
was the
being
youngest
18,
age?
with them being 18, you're bringing up a valid point. But the power dynamic, a school teacher and a school child, yes, he's in matric.
On school
I'm
premises.
going to be honest now. If I
a
was
male,
18,
man.
eh?
The
If
male
I
is
was
the
Power
18,
dynamic.
The male is the victim, basically, man.
If I was
So it's
18.
not
Yeah,
seen as a really that big of a
I'm
problem in
I'm-
society.
I
I'm gonna
agree
tell
with you
you,
there, 100%.
I'm going to be a bit sexist there, but if I was 18, I wouldn't mind my teacher looking
Yes.
like that, you know.
But you
You know what I
hormonal, you
But
thinking
if
about
it's a woman,
sex.
if that was my daughter in that position, I would fucking go there to the school and there would be a missing
But we
teacher,
all
school
have
teacher.
bias. I'm telling you, if that
So I'm
woman was
saying that
unattractive,
happens.
if she was unattractive and she looked
Some Brussels
lecherous
take it to the team.
and she was in her 50s, there would have also been a different framing because it's like pretty people get away with a
A
lot.
divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now
That's-
you have to apply that to you. I know you said predator, and she's justified being a predator, but you have to look at the bigger picture, the whole picture when looking at this. So I know that you're saying that they paint white people in a certain way and colored people in a certain way, but also look at the bigger picture of that. The woman was young and did look beautiful, and
Yes,
it
but
was
she's still a
18-year-old
student and it's a
boys
student.
that was like Afrikaner 18-year-old that's all
yes.
big and like look like 40-year-old
But
men.
he's a student and she's a teacher. The
Yeah.
power dynamic is skewed completely. You are not going to pimp your teacher if she's sexy and she's also playing into your hormones.
Yeah, because I don't want nobody
she
to know
knows,
because
she knows, like, look, you hot, you bothered.
Yeah.
Probably like, you know,
Bursting at the
Skommel
seams.
6 times a day.
yeah, and my girlfriend mustn't know also. On top of
I'm
it, yeah, you know what I mean.
saying
But I'm-
that
That's
you
that's
know.
honest truth.
If that
But you
happened
know
by
how
that,
to
I would
if you somebody in
exactly.
a powerful position, you a teacher,
Yeah.
you know how to play children up. Because you 18, you just turned 18.
Yeah.
You are still a child. To me, you are still a child.
Shut up, man.
18 and a 30-year-old woman, the power dynamic is completely messed up. The story, look, for me, it does change if you are a 50-year-old man and you are pursuing somebody that's 36. That is a grown woman.
Yeah.
Because the power dynamic is not that huge. If you look at what I mean, like in terms of money, maybe she has her own job, all of those kind of stuff. I don't see anything wrong with a 36-year-old woman being with a 50-year-old man and vice versa.
Oh.
But an 18-year-old
Is that
with a
right?
30-year-old teacher.
They say the brain stops developing.
Are you kidding me?
Only when you're 25. So,
Look,
so you're still growing, man. His
The
brain
thing
still
is,
growing,
the thing is, like you said, he's not mature enough, man, to make like constructive decisions, man. He's nog once in 'n relative mindset, man.
And he's going with it.
It's obviously
You
Hy-
60 and you reg. I'm sorry, and I'm
hy laat
18 and
sy-
I'm
hy
a
laat sy hormones
boy.
decide vir hom.
And you telling me that we can have sex in the classroom quickly. I'm gonna go for it.
Exactly.
I'm just saying I would. And I think it's the
And
same
maybe
like
it's
that
not
for
going to
girls
be
as
that
well.
much trauma
You know who's the
to him
victim?
for later in life.
Who's the bad guy here? You're not a pimp.
Probably. But she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing.
just for
she
us,
could easily
or-
take advantage.
Just for austerity purposes, how old are you now?
Me, I'm 37.
37.
I didn't
Because
know.
the power dynamic is quite fine. 45, 37, nothing wrong with that.
I think the oldest I would date is 50.
Cool. I'm safe, almost, I'm safe.
Why do you keep going back to that number? Almost like you're making a reference
No,
to
I'm
something that's happening currently.
Maybe, but I'm just saying like 36, 50, not too bad. If I was 20 and she was 50, no, sorry. No, you're taking advantage. You are trying to relive your youth with someone younger. You know you can control someone younger. And when you are 20, you're maybe not as financially established and stuff like that. So it's easy to pull someone in with your money and your status. But I think somebody a little bit older is more established in themselves. They can make more choices about who they want to date. And there's nothing wrong with being with someone older.
But generally, women go for older men. Like
Yeah,
if I look
why
at my
not?
own circumstances, like
My best profile is from the left.
But why not? I don't think there's anything wrong with being with someone older. It's just, I don't know, man.
Viagra.
Controlling people. You can control someone if they're younger. You're more impressionable. You're more likely to... Look, there's things that we do in relationships all the time, even if we're the same age. You tend to pick up someone's little words that they say, the things that they like. You somehow like this movies now, or you like this music that person likes. Now, can you imagine if you're 20 and your work is 50? It's not just about the little things and the little habits. It's everything. They keep you... Then it becomes... You don't see your friends anymore, stuff like that. They control almost every aspect of your life. And that's actually sort of like a precursor for abusive relationships. You need to isolate that person and so that you can control them completely and make them dependent on you. And that's why I always duck with the power dynamic, because it's like you don't know what that older person is trying to do with that younger person. Besides normal relationship stuff, there's always like this layer of control. And that's why I'm very adamant about age differences, man. And
Is this something that you've experienced personally?
no,
Okay.
but I've
Just want to
seen it.
check.
Okay,
I've
I have a
seen it.
question. Seeing that we're on the relationship type of vibe now, no? Okay, don't laugh at me for this. No?
Type of vibe.
Nee man, jullie laat ik doen wat ik vergeet wat ik wil gevraagd heb, man. It's about the relationships, man. Do you think that you know, being in a relationship that's controlling is a bad thing, and do you think it's because of the age difference and not like just being human? And do you think that, this is the actual questions, do you think that a male can have a female best friend and a female can have a male best friend? Dat is actually de vraag wat ik wil gevraagd heb.
Platonic.
Yeah.
Yes, completely. But what do you mean? You mean like two heterosexual people? Can a straight woman be friends with a straight guy?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yes, but your partners. That's always where the problem comes in, right? Because if you both have partners, are like, you know, there's this age-old idea, I think, of what friendship should be. Women must have their brassen and it must just be girls, and if there is a guy, he must be gay. Other brassen don't want extra dick around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that is just the truth.
That's exactly how I see it. I don't think males and females can be friends.
Me neither. Like, I'm not being on a controlling buzznup because, like, I'm a man. And, like, even Steve Harvey said it, man. Every man just waits for a crack in that defense. And if there's, like, a small crack, you will try and slip into that
Yeah,
crack.
but your issue is with other men, and I think it's your responsibility to kind of steer the conversation towards that and have these conversations amongst your bras and tell them, listen, don't be a predator. Don't come and look. Don't check for other men or women. Because I think for the most part, your girlfriends and your wives can be trusted, and you're right. The guys will look for a gap. But how do you change that culture? You start talking about it. Start calling the men out. Stop your cuck. You want to be friends with my girlfriend or my wife? Fine. But stop your shit. Right?
I think for the most part it is the hairs.
Your girlfriends and
he's
your wives
become like
can be
that, yeah.
trusted. It's the men. And the problem with male
No,
culture and toxic masculinity is you don't talk.
When did
You can't just put it on the
masculinity
males,
become
eh?
toxic?
There's nothing wrong with masculinity. It's just toxic because you guys don't talk with each other.
Yeah, but there is...
Obviously
there
not
is-
all.
there-
Not all.
Generalizing a bit.
Yeah.
But what if
Yeah,
the female,
I
the
was gonna
females
say.
is like, oh, this is a bra. So
And
the
then she
female
knows he's
also?
in a relationship still.
Yeah, but that's her thing. Because, I mean, why are you checking for him? Why are you not breaking up with your
Why are you
boyfriend?
checking?
Why are you not leaving the relationship? To pursue. If you want to be a bachelorette or a bachelor, then do that.
So it's the same.
Yeah, but you don't want to because you want the best of both worlds.
Bread buttered on all 6 sides.
I think a man and a woman.
No, loaf.
I think a man and a woman can be friends, but it's just like they mustn't be like in all the time in each other's space. Like, so you can still be friends with a woman, but you just don't like be in a space all the time, and you in your wife's space all the time. That's fine, isn't
Yeah.
it? The problem is, I think, like maybe this tends to happen in maybe environments where people is working closely together or. they have to be around each other all the time and not their partners around, not their partners.
Yeah, then you get
The
the
work
work
wife.
husbands and the work wives.
Then you find there's opportunity for cracks or whatever because
Shoulder to cry on.
You know what I mean?
From shoulder to left.
That
Very
sort of is
quickly.
going on, but you can be friends with a woman and just not all in
Yeah,
a space like
completely.
hi there, friends, bye, whatever.
Okay, look.
That's
Talk to you there,
acquaintance.
whatever.
That's acquaintance.
But I mean, you can still be that's friends, isn't it?
I mean, and there is
Okay,
a
I don't
level of
know.
affection that you do have for your friends. You can't. I mean, I love all my friends, but that doesn't mean I want to sleep with all of
Yeah.
them. But there is a level of love there. You care for that person. You feel their pain. Most times your friends support you much more than your family does. 'Cause
Empathize,
your friends are your chosen family. And I mean, I love that term, to describe friends. But you're an adult, so you need to also draw the lines. I mean, you can't look at all of your friends like, oh, yeah, yes. You know?
It's
You
not
got
gonna work
smack all
out.
your brothers.
But can I be honest with you? There's another person. I don't have girlfriends for the sake of my wife. Because I don't want her to feel insecure about it.
Exactly.
I don't want to give her a reason
Thank you.
to think that way, man. That's how I see it.
Now I see it the same way as well.
Yeah, I do really think it's your dang because
That's just everybody has their own life. But I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
not just
I
thinking
think
of myself.
everybody,
Yeah, and
everybody
also-
does it differently, man.
yeah.
It's
And I
each
mean,
its
look,
own.
if you guys have a trust dynamic, because remember, you don't have to fang on kak. And it has to be friends around you and stuff like that. You can catch on kak with strangers all the time.
All the time.
Once off, it can
Some
be
of the
tender
time,
things.
Adult world right, so 90 rand per hour.
Like the reason why that is so important at Nantal's city is because, like, imagine now, man, Nantal has a female friend, right? Now his wife is at work, but the female friend come over, and he tells his wife, no, his female friend just came here.
Okay.
And now, what is going through her mind while she's at work and he's here with his friend?
Well, I mean,
alone
does she
alone?
trust him? Do you trust
Like,
each
you
other?
get what I'm saying? It's still gonna be an
If
issue.
she's gonna pop over for like an hour and then she's like, yeah, listen, I went to Quality Bike, I got some donuts. Can we watch this quickly? Do they trust each other? You should be able to sit in a room with like, I don't know, 100 naked FHM models and do 4-call.
Not gonna happen. Well, wait, it depends.
Since we all making up scenarios. Since we all making up scenarios.
Worst
Is the
scenario to come
cameras-
up with, like.
But then you should not be married.
No.
Then where's your level of trust? Because right
100
now,
FHM models. You see,
Naked.
what I'm saying is you got to look at the bigger
Nah, I'm not
picture.
into models.
No. You have to look at the bigger picture. Whenever you look
what a
at it,
save.
no.
I'm not into. I'm always in, like.
You have to look at the bigger
stretch
picture,
marks
yeah.
and Lang toenails. That's my shit.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. Let's use that scenario though. So
What?
he's got the 100 models.
My wife will say, "School, Ryan. You know,
No.
I know you had to
But they're
because
sitting there and they're doing
you-
nothing,
when
where they're just posing, and you like
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
suggest sex, but then
my
it's
wife will
like,
say it's fine because when else are you gonna have a chance to be in a room with 100 FHM models?
But then again, did they give their consent?
Exactly.
So
And she knows it can only
And
go 2
they,
rounds.
and they say, Ryan, you know, 100. She's gonna say, you know,
100,
Ryan,
you know.
but that's your
You know-
relationship dynamic. Like, what is your dynamic? A lot of people are
Okay,
open.
yeah.
know
How did this podcast change to
Yeah,
anti-Mona?
it's supposed to be a journalist.
Anti-Mona.
Fingaz.
Nee, het went straight to pastry,
don't know
pastry
how.
of the voice. Anti-Mona. My park het oorgekom en sy ding is so groot soos 'n Coke bottle. Anyways, how do you find
Back to.
how do you find
Sounds so painful.
how do you manage to find
so sore.
Dis wat er in 'n moer se
skool hoeveel kos hy loop wat sy gekoop het?
Yeah, I'll try, bro.
Shaq, do you have a question?
Yes,
Do you have a proper question?
A proper question. How do you manage to find all the scandal on social media? And what is the top scam ever been? You know, according to the wedding catering scams.
Yo. Okay, I love scams. I know this is so bad to say, but I like people.
In pain.
I think the principle. I think the principle behind the theory of a scam is that how did you come up with it? You are smart. Like I always look at scammers like, yo, can you imagine if they had like a Fortune 500 company,
Yeah.
what they could do instead of scamming people out of their cars and like their wedding catering and stuff. But a lot of people actually inbox me scams and stuff, or they tag me because I say I like a scam. Tag me in it. I like scandal. I like to laugh first thing in the morning. So if I can wake up now and just open up my phone or PC, like my laptop, and then I just see a scam and I can just laugh. It's just it's funny. I mean, I feel cuck for the other people.
Yeah.
It's losing money.
But if you're stupid enough to fall for some of that
right?
scams,
I keep saying
yeah,
it. Like,
if they were smart to trick me, then I'll be like, you got me.
You
But
got
if you're
me.
dumb enough, then the world should see how dumb you are.
I think getting back to your question also, like my favorite scam will always be Natasha Lombard.
Oh, yeah?
Favorite. I don't think anybody's ever topped her. I think it was actually, the wedding venue
What
was
happened to
actually, well, I'll tell you. One of her top scams was actually near here. Because they wanted to do an outside reception. And you have like the whole altar
Arch.
thing and the arch stuff, and it's like, can cost thousands. And so she just picked up 3 palchies in Grassy Park somewhere. And she cupped it together. And she put it on a field, actually close here to the play, where they were having the reception. So that was like the arch. I'll send you the picture actually. It's in my images, my top 10 images. And then I think with the fancies or the cake.
Yeah,
the cake.
The cake.
It was supposed to be a caramel cake, and she used black cat peanut butter. Iconic.
So instead of the caramel falling between the layers, peanut butter.
So yeah.
Yo.
She's really, really quiet. And I mean, she has such audacity and gall and liver and all those other organs. And when she was asked, like, what are you going to say for yourself? And she just said, I have God on my side. I mean,
How much did she charge the people?
I think, was it 35,000?
For the wedding?
Well, not for the cake, but for the whole wedding.
For the
But
whole
yeah. The
It's a mess.
It mess. The catering was like, it came to like $1,000.
What
So
happened to her?
she was arrested. But I mean, she got bail, and I think there was an arrangement made where she's paying the people off.
Stucky.
Because, I mean, she did put on a wedding. It's just not the
she
wedding
did.
they wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they couldn't like really lock her up. But
Yeah.
obviously they tried to get her on a fraud charge. But
Misrepresentation.
there we go. But she's out and she's still catering, and I'm in a corner.
Then she's gonna
One of my favorite scammers. I love a scammer.
But can't she sue you guys for like, I'm just thinking now. if you
Defamation?
mention her-
No.
If you mentioning her name now, man.
Yeah.
What's
I'm
the-
actually in contact with her niece, so she told me they laugh about this like every month though, because somebody brings it up on social
regular.
media, aka me, regularly. And I mean the Voice, the Daily Voice, they really covered the story. I mean they were in the holding cell with her, because you know how the Voice can be very salacious and
That's now
smitterig.
Venetian.
Yeah, Venetia's always covering those stories. Yeah. So, yeah.
So-
I love a scam any day.
So, during last year, the last time you and I spoke, you actually did the first podcast, the JoeZone podcast with me, like 3
I
years
love that
ago.
one. It was so liquor.
Yeah.
Not that this one isn't liquor. It's going good.
Is dat lekker? Is dat lekker?
And we spoke about a lot of things, but since then, like a lot of other podcasts and Instagram lives and Facebook lives has popped up, and it's also very in the it's Cape Town based and stuff like that, which is awesome. What do you think of it? Like, what do you think about and what is some of your favorites, or if you have some, or something that you don't like, if there is any?
I mean, I don't really listen to any. I know it's so bad.
Facebook lives or Insta lives or something like that?
No, I mean, sometimes if it pops up and I am scrolling, then I will like, I'll listen or whatever. I really enjoy what's being put out. Don't get me wrong. I really like it, especially the Cape Town content. And I mean, there's a lot of funny people out there. And you know what? Take that. It's not even 15 minutes of fame anymore. It's longer than that. I think if we could go back in time, Andy should actually redo that quote. It's not just about 15 minutes anymore. It's people are looking for longevity. TikTok, I think it's fantastic. There's always going to be the Smith that's going to filter through with No, but
I heard about the Smith on TikTok.
Hashtag OnlyFans. OnlyFans.
No, I mean, but OnlyFans again is consenting.
Yeah.
You know, I am consenting to taking my clothes off and you paying me for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm talking about like people with their right-wing cuck men and their racist shit and the bigotry, like, and they have millions of followers. I mean, I think on TikTok you can actually just like get millions overnight almost, just with like some trend, or if you like hot right now or something. But I love the fact that platforms are more inclusive.
Yeah.
You can start your cooking show on TikTok. You could start getting paid for it. You can get sponsorships and stuff like that. I think it's great. And I think that's the way that employment is going now. I mean, I think the top.
That's how you
one
got
of the-
employed, like through.
For talking kak. I
Memes,
literally
meme.
spoke kak and I made a meme. I copied and pasted from Google Images the could have seen the
Yeah.
image and I made a caption. I typed it in. And I mean that, and I ended up with the job that I've always wanted, writing for a living. You know, and
Was it through Twitter that you
It was through Twitter.
she got hold of you?
Yeah.
So that's another platform that also could.
yeah, no, she.
But you can
she-
cross share from Twitter to Facebook also.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
So
I
anything
saw
you
us
said,
on
you can,
Facebook.
yeah, you can do that. Yeah, and I mean, even with whatever you post on Facebook, you can put it on Instagram. Cape Town humor, very unique, very flavorful. I really like it.
Very British. Pinky finger in the air.
I mean, there's some stuff that really irritate me, but I'm like,
Like?
I don't want. I
Like?
mean, I don't
Like?
want. I don't put the music on blast, man.
We're gonna edit it out from this.
she's
Hey,
not
Lick,
worse. She's
this shit
changed.
is live on Facebook right now.
She's changed since the last time. Last time she's like say everything. Now she's like, let me see what to say.
That's what she said in the beginning. She's censoring herself.
What is this lady's name, man?
Not waffles and
It's
mo.
Waffles and
Man.
Bruh.
Why don't you like her?
She's a beautiful.
No, I think it's
You like her?
I think it's funny.
Oh,
I
okay.
just can't take the screaming.
Oh, wait.
So that's the only thing they push because the content is so top tier.
Yeah.
But the screaming, I'm like, no, okay.
Do you know what I thought? I thought about this, and everybody mentions her. I think she's so cringe-worthy that people actually gravitate to her. Like,
No, but she represents a type of female that of the color.
Colour,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
But
It does.
it's really actually funny. But I'm not going to police how somebody brings their things across because a lot of people like that. It's just, I don't like screaming. That's just the thing for me.
Can I be honest?
The
right?
silent
Very
cut?
shrill.
With the silent cut.
it's interesting.
I like a gag
Bite
ball
the
in your
pillow.
mouth. That's where we can go.
Coil leg now, coil leg now.
Like in Brahman, what's his name? The Brahman over X.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Amy.
with that, I can't understand who's trying mimicking or who's his character that is.
Who overacts?
Dat Amy Brabant, dat wil say, kijk hier.
That Brahman.
Jim
was-
Carrey's overacting is hier zo, no? Die man is al aan, die fucking Sint-Helena bij met zijn overacting.
I don't know.
Oh,
his name,
Imi! I like him. I love it overacting,
but he
bro.
doesn't represent.
His eyebrows, it's like thick eyebrows.
The
That's
thing
why.
is, Mo, what's her name?
Wat was hem nou?
Wat was hem?
She represents an actual colored man that's out there. He doesn't. For me, he doesn't
Represent-
remind me of a real
Colored that was
someone.
He's color from Homie Estate or something like
Wie
that.
acts that dude?
No, I think
No, more power to him. He's doing his stuff and
I like him.
But I like him.
You see, but
This is weird, man. Like,
Kijk hier,
this is exactly what we should be speaking about. It's like the fact that I love him and you don't like
Exactly.
him. So there's a space for him because I like him.
Definitely, there's a space for
there
him.
is a space for him though, and I think this has been coming on for a long time, especially with comedy, especially with the so-called colored people. Like if you look at Buta Joe and them, they are caricatures of people that we all know.
Exactly.
Some of them do over-exaggerate, but it's people that we do know, and it's gatmaking at like the only way that some of us can understand here in Cape Town.
Yeah.
It's just their humor is that specific or so, but we like it. It's there, but I also feel it's been done.
Yeah, what's been done a lot as well is the male in the female character in the house code, whatever in the Tukkie.
Yeah, we
That's like-
don't like that.
Nee,
No, that's like a bit. That's
Yeah, it's
after
a
Mark
lot.
Lottering, it's like
It is a lot,
Nou,
and
met
it's
Mark doet het brilliant, hè?
I call it the Buddha and the Titi dynamic because I have to do a story this week about
Booba Ant.
how no, I mean Booba Ant was already done, but I have to do something about how people celebrate Eid. And I said, I'm not going to speak to a Buddha and I'm not going to speak to a Titi. I'm going to speak to a black Muslim. And I'm going to speak to maybe a queer Muslim. And I have been able to because Muslim, we know, is not a nationality. We know it's a religion. It's not an ethnicity, but a lot of people actually do think that it is.
In Cape Town, specifically
Especially.
because that is the majority.
But I mean, we know that there's white Muslims all over the world. We know that there's black Muslims all over the world. But I mean, the story
Chinese, Asians.
all over the world because it's a religion. It's not an ethnicity and it's not a nationality. I mean, obviously, we have some countries where being Muslim is the majority. But I mean, then again, in South Africa, most people are Christian. But that's also just because of the dynamics in the country, like, you know,
The diversity,
and the
yes.
diversity. I mean, and we come from a Calvinist background in any case. So you would think that they would focus on Christian holidays also for public holidays. Whereas I feel we should be off most of the time for all of religious holidays.
I think in next week actually the schools are closed on Thursday for Ascension Day and on Friday for Eid al-Fitr.
That's fantastic. It's inclusive. It's
We have to
lekker.
work though.
So I think like with humor, yeah, just waffles and bow. Just her voice. Love the content. I love it. But that's them also. But I mean, I don't want to see another 100 Mo and waffles popping up. Just, I mean, we need
Waffling all over the show.
something else.
The person that I think is like has the best content, you already know I'm going to mention Simon.
Simon's content is
yeah, my
brilliant,
bro,
though.
that man is on a level.
Not true, not true.
Simon from Sip
and Simon, yeah.
He's on his own now, but he does colored poetry. I think like he does a lot more. There's a lot that he does, like the colored poetry and the other stuff and stuff like that. Which is that the amount of content that he's pushing out is on another level. Like people always think like maybe he just got lucky or something like that, but he's pushing out a lot of content.
But he's been doing this for quite a while though, and I think we had this debate like 2 years ago about Simon, and we were like, I saw a tweet that he put out, man, and it actually upset me because I was like, he shouldn't be soliciting for like that. He shouldn't have to ask Espresso to be on their show. They should have snatched him up a long time ago. When you see the content that's on TV and who they want to profile, I'm like, you know what? If I have to see another makeup artist on Afternoon Express, I'm going to choke someone. And I'm not violent. No, seriously. Simon has been consistently working. He's like the one person, if I want to laugh, I know people come on my page to laugh, but if I want to laugh, I will go check out his Twitter and that's then I will break me cloud, especially for colored poetry because it's so,
But
it's iconic, it's funny.
Plus that dude has like heavy acting skills.
But the way,
it
but
changes.
when I saw that tweet, because we had like this, it was, the Twitter was clapping that day. When I saw his tweet, and then I put up that tweet and I said, why must Simon solicit like this? Because he tweeted to SABC3 on Afternoon Express, no, the morning show, Espresso. And he had like said like, when are you guys going to ask me to come onto your show?
Why do we need them to validate us though?
No, we
that's the
don't.
thing,
We
yeah.
don't. But what I was saying was when I looked at, and then I actually took a look at their schedule for the month, and I saw who they had on, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Do you even have any people that's monitoring social media to see what content
What's
is
trending.
out there and what was trending?" Because Simon was like slutting it out on what I call color Twitter, because there is color Twitter, there is black Twitter, there is white Twitter, which is boring. But no,
very
they
beige.
are very
Very
boring, and they latch onto all the other people online. But I'm like, he shouldn't be soliciting like that, and he should keep putting out his content because I know he's gonna eat it big. I'm actually a huge fan of his. So but I know he'll get there. But for me, it's like, why must it take so long for him, man? He should have had a special on a TV channel for a while
We
now.
should get him
already.
back on the podcast actually.
I think a lot of people will agree with me where that's concerned. He should have his own sketch show.
Maybe have him speak to Kenwan.
I personally think, why should we go to them? Why can't we just create our own and
Because
build the following ourselves, man? Then we own it, man.
That's true. I think
Yeah,
it's also just
sort of
easier to
like
approach a network
BET.
because they have the money and they have the setup already. But I think if you have the content, you don't need these networks because you are the talent.
You don't want to go to the next one because the second he goes to the network, they're going to say, no, but we don't want you to do it like this. We want you to do it like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of creative control that will be pulled back from him.
And that's in the small sense is the big sense of the word. Like it's like you want to do your own thing, but I mean, you gotta grind sometimes for a long time
This
before
new
you can
show-
fly.
Yeah, you gotta eat a lot of shit.
There we go.
We had Kenwan on 2 episodes ago, and he spoke about the new SABC tuna.
Yeah.
New shows, like a sketch show.
It's the
They might
Stuart
even-
Taylor's productions.
They might even ask him to. They would be stupid not to include him. Man.
Him and Stuart worked together before, previously, so maybe. But I think that that what Stuart is doing is trying to make a lot of comics, give a lot of comics a shot on a platform on that SABC show. So that stand-up comics and actors and so on. So, I mean, there might be a second season, an opportunity for the thing is for us all to support that. So if everybody supports that thing on SABC2, and then it will grow for maybe season 2, season 3, and so on, and everybody.
And by support, we mean pay your TV license?
Is it pay your
It's
TV
the right thing
license?
to do.
I don't know. Is it maybe? All you need
We
to
know we
do-
all lapse after the first year.
No, it's not. You don't even need to pay your TV license. All you need to do is watch it, comment on it at hashtag SABC2 and the name of that thing. And I guarantee you, but all that people talking about it and creating a buzz on Twitter or Facebook and stuff like that, I guarantee you that show will grow like it.
But you know what? Just dovetailing on that you guys are speaking about now. I think one of the main things that these content producers must also think about, and I know it's boring, but it's like getting paid and also owning your content, because I met this guy at the film festival on Monday, and he said his friend, and I'm gonna get the movie for you guys, he shot something about Mitchell Spain, like a documentary, and ETV offered him 80,000 rand, but they wanted the full rights, and he refused it. He just said no. He said he thought about it. He was like, "Nah, I'll leave it." But you see, they're cute. They had meetings with him, and he doesn't have any representation. He doesn't have a lawyer or an agent or anything like that, because we don't think you need an agent and all of that kind of stuff. We think that's like a Hollywood thing. And he kept the rights, and it's broadcast at least like 3 times a year in the Netherlands and in the Nordic countries and stuff. And he earns royalties. And his friend was telling us he doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to shoot.
So where did he release it on then?
No, he
sold it to these countries.
But he kept his rights.
Check your,
He kept his ownership rights, which means that he keeps getting the royalties from it.
check your,
It's so important to own your content, and I think that a lot of I think somebody must actually do some kind of masterclass or something on it for local content creators, because
I think should be the
you should get someone.
Can I just tell you a
make it
story
public.
on that? No? There was an interview with Ice Cube, and they asked him about Friday, like the last Friday, this movie. No? He says, "Dude, I'm waiting. There was a script." He says, "People are dying already." That was in the original movie, but they can't get it right because he gives them a script. Then they say, the studio says, "No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Can't do that." Then after, like say a month or so, then movies come up that he pitched, man, with the same idea.
Yeah.
So he says, "Dude, if it was up to me, I don't own the rights to it." But he wrote it, no? He shot it, no? But they have the rights to it. So now
The Friday name.
the Friday, you can't make another
The
Friday.
franchise.
And like everything related to it, like the
But he
merchandise
is the
and stuff
fucking
like
brand,
that.
but he can't because he sold the rights to. So I think we should learn from their mistakes, man, because they are ahead in lots of ways, man.
So he wrote the Friday movie,
Yeah.
but then he sold the rights of a Friday movie to
Yeah.
then the first
them,
one.
so now
Because
they own it,
obviously
yeah.
he was a nobody.
The same with Dingus.
Interesting.
The same with How I,
Yeah.
Method Man and Redman. They were advertising like for years when they perform. Who's ready for How I 2? Mense gaat aan. Daardie place hulle sommer vir hulle tweets is nou hulle gaan How I 2 maak sonder Method Man.
But just on that, no, like, and this is something that I also only learned now at the film festival, because they had a workshop with Netflix and the National Video and Film Foundation, because they are collaborating. So if you have a script and they like it, they'll greenlight 4 million rand for your movie. And then that same guy who told me about the Mitchell Spain documentary, he said, "You know what, if you have content," and I know it's probably going to be laborious and it's going to be tiring, because if you coming onto your TikTok and talking for about 5 minutes, you don't want to still transcribe that, but you can transcribe it. You can pay 450 rand a year to the Writers Guild of South Africa. You can actually register the copyright on every single thing that you say out there. But you have to have it written down. And I mean, if you're doing video content, it's going to be tiring. But it's one way, and I don't know much about it, but I've seen how a lot of people get their stuff stolen. And it's funny though, because you know that meme with the little girl with the fire in the background?
Yeah.
She sold a meme. And she got paid in Bitcoin. She sold the original rights to the meme to someone. You can start selling your memes and stuff now. I know it's an American thing, but it's going to filter out to the rest of the world.
NFTs?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I read it in the week.
That's
So,
really-
but I mean, it's fun. It's like a look. When you're doing fun stuff and you're talking shit online and you're writing stuff and things like that, you don't think of that. But somebody is taking your stuff and misappropriating.
That makes so much sense. There's this one podcast, with Brendan Sharp, that one. So he apparently pays for this. But what happens, I say, for instance, he's like a comedian, so he comes up with a line on the podcast, pull that shit up. Because he said it on the podcast and he doing what you said, he probably pays the South African, American version of that. Whenever he makes a t-shirt or something like that with something with a phrase on it, you can't copy it. He said that already before, like, no, you can't. Whenever people try to steal, like, King and the Sing, whatever he says on the podcast, Like if it's just on the fly and it becomes something, an idea and stuff
Zeker,
like that, nobody can steal it.
What's your views on Funny Cup?
Funny Cup.
I got a lot to say about them. I don't like them. I think they're pieces of shit.
But they grow in, eh?
Yes, they are. They should grow. Because their audience likes them. It's the same like that other dude. I'm not going to mention him because I don't want to catch a lawsuit. But people have their fans, even if they bottom band.
Mr. Meyer.
No, yeah. We try to look Funny Cup. We actually try to look Funny Cup up on Cipro. And it's a maze. It's a complete maze because the company is registered to somebody who stays in Hanover Park. And you never see. Yeah, it's
The
just,
directors and stuff like that.
It's just weird. But also,
Yeah, how come?
I don't know. I don't know what this person.
How
is
come
like
you
to
never
hide,
you,
though.
you never see the directors and stuff like that? And how come
I know
they?
one.
Huh?
I know one of them.
You know one of them. So now, how come they're hiding? Or it seems like they're hiding.
Maybe they just don't like the limelight. Why does
Yeah,
it
I
always
think
be
that's
so-
just a cop out. That's just a cop out.
That's a cop out.
It's
No,
you're not a reclusive Howard Hughes here.
No.
you're
No,
not some
that don't make
billionaire
sense.
hold up
Yeah.
on the side of a mountain.
Especially in Cape Town.
You are putting Raak Weiss on a t-shirt and you're telling me to buy it. I think it's just a mess. And it's not that, it's just
I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is.
the problem.
If you own a brand, it's a growing, successful brand in Cape Town and stuff like that. Why will you go through the effort to make people not know who you are? Go through an effort to make people not know who you are.
It's part of the mystique. We're having this conversation now because of that.
I don't think so.
No, I just think that they it's just a caricature. Too much of a caricature. It's just too much. I don't want to see I don't know. It's just I don't even think it's just a personal view because a lot of people feel like this. I don't want to see bitchy sturwy, bitchy gum on a coffee cup. It's just tiring. And I think you misappropriate from a community that you don't give back to.
Yeah.
I think I've heard too many stories, even of the employees that don't get paid right and they have to work overtime and stuff like that. You take, like I say, you take too much from a community and you don't give back. Sorry. You can't do that, especially a marginalized community. We're not talking about white suburban children's sayings that you're putting on a t-shirt and on coffee mugs. We're talking about your own people. If you are a colored person, okay, they are colored. You're talking about your own people, you don't give back. You're driving Audis with, your Funny Cup logos and stuff on like that. It's such a Western thing, and we are not. We are African people. You need to continuously give back. If you are using art from a community, poor people give us culture all the time. I'm talking about working class people give you culture. Working class people have given us rap. They've given us slang. They've given us everything that we say, even how we look, even how we dress. It used to be called very gum to wear your Jordans. Now it's a thing. You pair your Jordans with a designer item. That is culture. You see these middle class people use these facets. We're talking about the sayings.
But what would you say if somebody says, but they celebrating it, and they
Yes, with money.
They're celebrating
money.
for themselves.
For themselves.
Hold up.
No,
The
you
reason
are
why
celebrating it.
Somebody needs to be the devil.
Yes.
So I'm just giving the other side.
No,
But
of course. No, I think you're bringing up a valid point. Say what you...
No, it's a valid point, but they
We
are
have to
earning
give
the
both
money.
sides, man.
Yeah.
Who's cashing the checks? That's all I'm asking.
I agree with you. I just
Who's
need to-
cashing the checks? I want to see Funny Car putting up a billboard on a school and saying that they are sponsoring a feeding scheme, not a peninsula feeding scheme. They should be doing things like that. I just feel if I was going
Gee 'n bietjie terug ten
just give
minste.
back. That's the
Nice.
because let me tell you something. The
Sue me
person
for
who
that.
you take your culture from does not have your setup. They don't have the resources. They don't know that they need a business plan. They don't know if they're going to get approved from bank. You have privilege, so you did that and you set up the company, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to see Raak Weiss and things like that on a t-shirt. The only reason why I don't like it is because I know they don't give back. But you take your culture from working class colored people, and what are the colored people doing? They're giving you your culture. They are doing things, in their spaces. You come in and this is how it works. You infiltrate. You go and sit in the company of these people and they talk. I mean, something came up that I didn't know. You know that Tola, the comedian?
Tola van der Merwe.
Yes. He used to go and lam with a colored man. he would give this man alcohol, he would get liquor drunk, and then this man would just start talking, making jokes. And he got most of his jokes from this person.
Is a rap group that also does that?
David Kramer has done this, still does it. The Veldspooner. They all do it. Like I said, fine, you are appropriating. We can't escape appropriation. We're never gonna. But you know what? It will taste a lot sweeter if you actually give back to the community that you keep taking from. That's all I'm saying.
So Funny Cup, like the way I see it from my perspective, I saw them steal from a comedian, like directly. Like word for word, I saw them steal.
And didn't they steal from another company that was doing t-shirts and stuff? What's your names, man?
I don't know.
I have them on Insta, I'm gonna send it to you.
But so when they did that, like I thought to myself, okay, so already your ethics and your morals is a bit dodgy and stuff like that. But anyway, then I saw Stuart Taylor and Mark Lottery, man with a t-shirt over them, and I was like, okay, if my heroes are aware that maybe there's some sense in
but they
looking
probably
at
weren't
the
even
company.
aware that it was stolen content.
But anyway, no, but
You
I'm just
never
saying
know
this
that,
is
never
now many years later. This is now many years later. So time has gone on because this company's been a while. But now recently they've opened up a radio station. Have you seen this?
And a news
Media house.
Medias, I don't know about the medias, but they opened up a radio station now. So now they've started to give an opportunity for people to come on the radio station, and namely is the one like Afrikaans comedian guy Riza Forbes and stuff like that. So they've given him an opportunity. So I think from our perspective is like, I see what you're saying, but they are now going back to starting to employ people from within the community and people that speaks to the community or so. I don't know who the owners are, and that is a bit concerning because why you almost like being
Can I
mysterious?
just break your
And
word?
you know, maybe they are.
I'm going to bounce. I'm
yeah.
going to say goodbye now
Yeah.
to the viewers. Bye, whatever. Dan kan jy net klaarmaak, ne?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, we'll wrap up.
I need to use the toilet.
Okay, right. That's it, cool. Yeah, let's wrap this up so it doesn't look very disjointed.
Oh.
Ling,
Okay, then.
We got
Ling,
so
but we
much
can have
more
you
to
back,
say.
We can have you back.
You can have it back. One thing
Let her
just on
finish
them. Let me just.
the statement.
I already now let the cat out of the bag.
Ja,
so
dat
to
is
speak,
so.
but it-
All
No,
I'm saying,
no,
I
it's
love
just-
Funny Cup.
That's
En
cool.
Brass Funny Cup.
Yeah.
But I did look into them, in a background kind of a way, and there will be a story about it, and it will be online.
I just want to just
Coming
based on
soon.
what you were saying, you just need to verify whether those artists and those DJs on that radio station are actually getting paid, or if this is a free platform.
Yeah,
But I
because
mean, the exposure.
The SABC
Oh, yeah, you
betaalt
mean-
ons.
Can I expose myself over here and get paid?
Everybody gets paid.
That
Okay.
exposure
But the
bullshit must
SABC
end.
betaalt
Everybody gets paid the exposure.
Ten percent,
And
ten
then
percent.
complaining.
How long I'm a
joking.
rapper now, no? You know how long
joking,
I've
I'm
been a
joking.
rapper now, no? And people still tell me, no, it's most exposure for you. I've been doing this shit for more than 12 years
But the
now.
national broadcaster doen het dan en niemand complaining.
Nee, bro,
Maar zekere mensen wordt ons
No,
betaald.
I think you must calculate your worth and then add tax. Sometimes you need to understand that you need to get paid because you're going to eat the exposure.
yeah, obviously we can't
And
eat
people
that.
are willing to pay you for your art. And there are people out there.
No way.
Ek vroeg hom in
That's
woord,
it.
guys.
Right up, guys.
That's a
From
dope
the Babbling
episode.
Heads, thank you, Ling, for joining us and
Thank you
giving
very
us
much
your
for the
No,
insights.
thank you for
conversation.
having me. So random.
Not gonna have your job.
Thank you.
I think we could have gone on longer, but anyway,
Ja, nou,
that's very
part
good.
two mos, part two mos.
Yeah, we
Once
can
the
do
story
one.
breaks on Funny Cup, keep your eyes peeled.
Stel recht voor mij.
Hallo,
Nou,
niet
weet
van
je
mij
het,
niet.
The base one is 7, I'm out.
Fingers out.
JoeZone.
Charlie out.
Oh, Ling out.
Ling is in. Die Ling is in. Wat die nou met-
Heel ja.
Wacht die man.
Water break. Thank you guys.
praten, Sven.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.
The Babbling Heads podcast.
Come on, fade to black, and there we go.